Hello and welcome to Good Day Oregon Home and Garden. I'm your host, David Schmidtke. You're watching the region's only local weekly home improvement show designed specifically for your Oregon and Southwest Washington home. Today, I'm at Laurelhurst Park in Northeast Portland. You know, the days are getting shorter and the nights colder. So here's what you need to do to winterize your lawn and garden. Well, the pansy is the most misnamed flower because it can actually survive the winter pretty nicely. But I'm here with Dave Etchpair to talk about what we need to do right now to put our lawn and gardens to bed. So first, lawns.
Yeah, as far as this time of year, this is when you want to get your last feeding of the lawn in.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people that want to go organic. You can go with a low phosphorus organic fertilizer and just put it on this time of year. That'll do several thousand square feet.
Okay.
And you also want to add lime this time of year.
Right
Put
here.
on lime, that'll raise the pH. Our soils tend to be acid, so it will green up the lawn just in the change of the pH. For the people that have some of the Portland Rose Society fertilizer, there's a lot of this out there. This is actually a great winterizer fertilizer. You don't have to have winterizer on the bag to be a winterizer fertilizer.
Okay.
And,
are these numbers important then as far as the winterizing goes or not?
Somewhat. You wouldn't want to be much higher than 15. You know, you see the 28s and the 30s. That's a little high in nitrogen for this time of year. Okay. And this is some of this is slow release. It's a special formula for the Portland area. It's got a lot of micronutrients. So by putting this on this time of year, you're going to be storing carbohydrates for the winter, and then the lawn will wake up in the spring and it'll have stored the nutrients that it needs. So.
Now, okay, well what about the garden? What do you do for the garden to keep it?
Now this is the time of year for your vegetable garden. You just want to pull out everything, get your tomatoes and everything else out of there, and put down a good cover crop. And the nice thing about putting down a cover crop is it's going to fix the nitrogen. A lot of these have legumes in them. There's crimson clover, which is one of my favorites. These are mixes here. That one, once again, is an organic brand. And you put it out now. It'll grow through the winter. It keeps the weeds down. And in the spring, when you till it in, you're adding nitrogen back to the soil. And it's also adding organic matter, green manure to the soil.
Cool.
Just great for the garden.
Now what about getting that spring color in the spring?
Now that's where it really gets easy. As long as you're out in your garden and you're putting it to bed for the wintertime, throw in some daffodils, tulips, hyacinths. Dig a hole, little compost, little starter fertilizer, and the bulbs in, cover it up, and then you can go to bed for the winter. When you wake up in the spring, there they are, they're in bloom.
So those bulbs will have sprouted and you didn't really have to do that much
You
for
didn't
them.
have to do anything. They'll do all the work.
You know, fire is always a concern in the home, especially if you live on the second or third floor. But now a local inventor is coming to the rescue. And you're probably wondering what this is on the side of this Portland home. It does look a little interesting. Well, I can explain this to you. This is a brand new invention invented locally by this guy. This is Brian Johnson. Now, Brian, this is a safety device here. Just what are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at a safety ladder that's extremely unique in that you can crawl down it with one hand with a child or a pet or a baby and be safe. From the inside, when it's closed and ready to deploy, it looks like a flower box. It's a shelf. You can put plastic flowers. You can also put a box of a real flower box with soil and real flowers there. You simply open the window, release the latch, swing the door, which moves the flowers and flower box out of the way, and then simply lift up the top railing. If the child's crawling down, they slip, they just fall, their back just falls against the netting, and they're safe.
What's this called?
It's ladder net.
Ladder net. Now, where'd you get the idea for this?
Well, I built a tree house, and it was a fairly high tree house. It was all set to go. I put the ladder up there, just a regular rope ladder, and my wife, bless her heart, said, they are not climbing up there. If they fall, they would get seriously injured. So I scratched my head a little bit and came up with putting netting around the ladder. And I was a crab fisherman king crab fisherman for years in Alaska. Wow. And so I called my buddies up, got some netting, sewed it up, and the kids have been using it for years and been safe climbing up and down the treehouse. And my wife said, well, why don't you just put this on as an escape ladder? So you climb into this sturdy frame, which when you climb out the window is right there for you. so you're not climbing into a void. And as you climb down, the first step is this very sturdy step right here, which all adults step on first. The children, 5 or 6, they use this one right here. It's designed to hold 1,000 pounds, which can carry the whole family. Now, as you can see, as I'm climbing down, I can just let go and I can rest and I'm secure. So if I'm an older adult, don't have much hand strength, I don't need it to climb down. Just lean back. If you get tired, panicky, just relax. There's a net at the bottom, as you can see, which is an added safety feature. So if you do slip, which no one ever has, you just fall in this nice cushioned bottom. There you go, the ladder net.
When you're done with ladder net, it folds neatly back into its hidden container. Now, this just hit the market?
Just hit the market, yep. We've been working on it for years and years, perfecting it. But it's just hit the market and we've gotten a tremendous response.
Well, I love the idea that your background as a king crab fisherman kind of helped inspire this. That's really
That's right.
cool.
Yeah, well, I also have an engineering degree, which also helped.
That
Right.
Nice little thing.
Yeah, little details.
All right, so Kid Mesh, Brian Johnson, and that is pretty creative, I gotta say.
Yep, the ladder net. Yep,
Yeah.
there it is.
Coming up next on Good Day Oregon Home and Garden, a local photographer